so we're helpless.
Watch our team take on the world. Channel 7, Australia's Olympic network.
Bomber Blitz, relief and elation as Essendon finally fulfills its destiny.
Dick Reynolds as the most successful club in over.
They're now hailed as the most successful team in AFL history.
Let's go down.
And Captain Courageous James Hird, the Norm Smith medalist.
You're the best bunch of blokes you could ever meet. It's my wife, Tanya, and my little baby, Stephanie. This is for you guys. Thank you.
7 News with Peter Mitchell.
Good evening and welcome to this 2000 Grand Final edition of 7 News. And a capacity crowd of 96,249 crammed into the MCG to witness the Bomber Blitz. The clash of two traditional Victorian clubs sparked a fierce rivalry amongst the massive crowd. Darren Linton begins our coverage of Grand Final Day.
MCC members were shaking their heads at the size of the Grand Final queues.
Every heart beats true for the Redheads. Come on, sing along.
More than 40% of MCC members barracked for Melbourne or Essendon, many prepared to camp out overnight to make sure they got a seat. When the gates opened, the crush became a rush.
Please walk through this corridor for your own safety. Do not run along the corridor, please. I'm okay.
The next challenge, somewhere to sit.
When you get here, buddy. I got you up.
Within minutes, it was standing room only, while over at the North Melbourne breakfast, they were on their feet as well to honour a grand old lady.
You look familiar. Sir, with the beard, I want to tell you this. You've been disgraced wherever you've gone. When you made such a kicked up such a fuss at Wimbledon, and you made such yes. Cheer up. Life begins at 80. Yes.
The 35th gathering of football's greats was sadly without the man who started it, but Ron Casey was fondly remembered.
I gotta say, and don't take this the wrong way, you're a heck of a crowd. It's a heck of a place. But the joint just seems empty without our mate, Case.
The breakfasts in the MCG car park were not as flash, but the parents of the Melbourne players wanted to be close to their boys.
Every heart beats true for the red and the blue.
Oh my God, I'm very nervous.
And everyone wanted to be at the G. They got there any way they could. With or without a ticket.
I'm willing to pay a fair price.
Much of an outfit.
No, that's good enough for the footy, but.
Wouldn't have been a straight line if I had done hers. It would have been red and blue.
Apparently, Melbourne finished it in 1 year.
And remember when the dog ate your homework? Well, how about this mutt, who ate his owner's grand final ticket?
I think she decided that it'd be a good little snack, and she went ahead and made the most of it.
A vet got some of the ticket back, signed a statutory declaration, and Ticketmaster let them in. Also settling into the stands, the Bombers' oldest fan, 100-year-old Madge Dundas.
Since 1924, I've barracked for it, and I still will.
There was some drama as a firework meant for the pre-match spectacular accidentally exploded in the race. One man was taken to hospital with minor injuries, but the show went on.
We welcome you from near and far across this land.
Former Adelaide girl and footy fan Julie Anthony performing the first act of a huge double bill.
And looking forward to the Olympic opening ceremony.
I think it'll be big.
And for current and past Olympians, the best wishes of the capacity crowd.
It's a good atmosphere for them to really cap it off. You know, they're really excited about it.
This is my opening ceremony. I won't get to March in Sydney, so this is it.
Oh, it's amazing. I'm not used to this many people though. It looks pretty bloody good to me.
An aerial attack overhead as Russell Morris warmed up the crowd for the real thing.
Come and see the real thing, come and see the real thing, come and see.
And the Bombers blitzed at ground level to easily fulfil their premiership dream.
And they have won their 16th premiership. And is there a better story than James Hurd?
Darren Linton, 7 News.
Jim Wilson joins us now, and Jim, just reward for an outstanding season.
They've had a fantastic year, and Peter, they'll go down as one of football's greatest ever teams with a 10-goal demolition of Melbourne. The Bombers cracking open the match with a 6-goal second quarter as they steamroll the Demons to give the club its 16th flag, equalling Carlton's record. Bomber captain James Hurd winning the Norm Smith medal. The MCG on the first Saturday in September, and the Demons went in without Cameron Bruce, replaced by Ben Beams. King Richard, the legendary Dick Reynolds, hoping Kevin Sheedy could join him as a 4-time premiership coach. Mark Johnson had the job on the Wizard, Ingerson on Lloyd, and Nicholson the awesome task of minding Hurd. Jeff White jumping out of his skin at the opening bounce.
And there's a mighty roar, and White gets the first up.
John Barnes was feeling the heat. Hurd all class with the Bombers first.
James Hurd bends it back for the Bombers.
Stephen Powell, though, had the quick reply, booting Melbourne's first of the day.
Streaming towards goal, he shoots, and the Demons reply.
Carosella has had an outstanding season, and he booted the Bombers second, although Mark Johnson's decision to take on Farmer backfired and Powell pounced.
Powell to kick his second, and he's done it.
Dean Wallace then clashed with Brad Green, while Carosella was cool under pressure.
He's a clever footballer. He's kicked it.
Mercury was lucky not to be pinged for holding the ball, resulting in Lloyd goaling.
He's going to kick a goal, and he does. It's a goal to Lloyd.
But the Bombers were missing opportunities, while Wallace was inspirational.
It's the target. Oh, Wallace has taken one of the best marks of his career.
The D's within striking distance, but when Hurd offered an easy lead and then unloaded from 50, Essendon was on its way in the second term. Farmer received a free kick and booted his first, but there was no denying the Bombers. Hurd the genius performing his own wizardry, and Carosella finished it off. The Demons needed a lift, and Neitz provided it with a goal. The difference was back to 20 points. Schwartz targeted Jason Johnson, while Barnard stretched the Bombers' lead.
At long last, they've got a goal.
It wasn't pretty footy all the time, but it was enough. Despair for Demon fans, and Barnard added to the nightmare.
Here they go, lock, stock and two-gun smoking.
Michael Long was then reported for this crude tackle on Simmons, and tempers were at boiling point.
Well, it's on here. This could be a defining moment.
Simmons was stretchered off with a neck brace, while Wallace did some repair work on the run to a dislocated finger. Simmons returned to sit on the bench, while Farmer gave the Demons some hope at the start of the third quarter and let Johnson know about it. And Neitz did his best to ignite the D's, as did Russell Robertson.
And Robertson, oh, he's taken a beauty!
But this was the year of the Bomber. Buick always the opportunist in what could be his farewell appearance. And Moorcroft put the icing on the cake.
Go Gary! And he does for his mum Judy and his dad who's been watching him from above.
The Demons went down fighting, but they were beaten by a team who've become one of the best of all time.
Kevin Sheedy joins Dick Reynolds as the most successful club in over 100 years at this famous club. And they have won their 16th premiership. And is there a better story than James Hurd? Well, maybe Barnesy and Wallace get close.
Celebrations for Kevin Sheedy. Flag number 4 was so special, and his players basked in the glory.
There's always a belief that we get here and win it, and you know, this is much better than last time. This is the best football moment I've ever had in my life.
What a leader, what a team. Champions for season 2000. Well, for the Bombers, it was a sweet victory after last year's shock preliminary final defeat, and just reward for Captain Courageous James Hurd.
The winner of the Norm Smith medal in today's match is James Hurd of Essendon.
Thank you to my teammates. You're the best bunch of blokes you could ever meet. And to my wife, Tanya, and my little baby, Stephanie. This is for you guys. Thank you.
All the fans that have followed footy all of your lives, I can assure you that this team has deserved the premiership. I've got no doubt about that.
credit for Barnes' Premiership.
Our boys who play this grand old game are always striving for glory and fame.
Oh, it is going to be a very big night of celebrations around Melbourne and, of course, out at Windy Hill in the Social Club. Bombers fans are about to begin the celebrations, hanging around at the MCG to soak up the atmosphere. Not so the Demon supporters. They can't get away quick enough. We cross live to Claire Brady outside the MCG. Claire, what's it like?
Well, the Demons have been leaving very early, Jim. They've been dragging some sad faces through the car park. But as you can see, streaming across the bridge here, you'd be a brave person to be in the blue and red. But there's plenty of Bombers. There's a sea of black and red instead, and they're all heading to the tennis centre where around 7:30 they'll be greeted by their team who will hurl that cup way above their heads.
And Claire, I believe that they'll then kick on to the convention centre. That's where the Essendon will be. Of course, Melbourne going on to the Crown Casino.
Well, Mitch, I can't hear you very well. But tonight there'll be a formal dinner at the convention centre, and of course if Kevin Sheedy hadn't tasted his victory this morning, he'll be savouring it with his teammates tonight. And then they'll head back to Windy Hill in a busload. They'll pour out there, and that's probably the relative word to pour out, and they'll have the cup with them again, with all the fans waiting for them at midnight. We'll follow them through the night, and we'll see what happens. Back to you.
I can tell you what's going to happen. It's going to be a very big night, of course, off to Rod Laver Arena and then on the convention centre for the Bombers. Well-deserved. They are a champion outfit across all lines and well-deserved. And I'll be back later in sport with more on the grand final, including crosses to the rooms.
Look forward to that very much, Jim. Thank you. Still to come tonight, picket anger outside the Age newspaper and let the games begin. Olympic athletes flooding into Sydney.
Next week, yes, someone does live here.
It's creating a health hazard to the residents around the area.
It's a real-life house from hell.
We have to virtually get volunteers amongst our garbage staff. They have to get dressed up in effectively spacesuits.
And the neighbours have had enough.
We know one person has had to actually sell her house and move.
But no one is prepared to do anything about it. Plus, a young boy sleepwalking that has the whole town on edge. Melbourne's Today Tonight, 6:30 on 7.
I'm here at Hidden Valley to tell you to forget the rest. They're just estates. This is really living. I've seen the rest and they don't come within a bull's roar of this. This is gorgeous. Sure, it may take 5 minutes longer to get here, but when the lifestyle's twice as good, who cares? And with land from just $59,000, that's right, get your jaw off the floor. I said $59,000. What's stopping you? Come out this weekend, sit where I'm sitting. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Cheers.
Where did I come from?
Ask your mother.
Mum, where did I come from?
Well, dear, it all started out in a big rice field. And there you were, a little grain of rice. Then things like calcium, zinc and iron helped you grow up healthy. And that's where you came from.
And where am I going?
See the Bombers fly up, up.
Celebrating Essendon's big win? Well, what you need is the official 2000 AFL Premiers T-shirt and video. They're available at Kmart. Go Bombers!
Same old barbecue, no, no, no. Another old stir fry, no, no, no. Same old pan fry, no, no, no. Not another grill, no, no, no. Just another roast, no, no, no. Just think pork, just think pork. Just
New fashioned Australian pork.
Just think pork.
Hidden Valley, a corner of Tuscany, just a few kilometers from Melbourne.
Welcome back to 7 News. Anger outside the Age newspaper offices overnight as locked-out employees stopped delivery trucks trying to get the paper out. Picketers clashed with drivers and battled police who moved in to clear the way for the trucks. Trades Hall Council boss Lee Hubbard swooped in using his car to block the entrance.
Fairfax had a huge profit, which was announced recently, but the company is simply not willing to share the rewards of that hard work that has been done by all of the workers here.
The dispute follows a breakdown in negotiations over wages and profit sharing. Deliveries of the Sunday Age are also expected to be disrupted. The world's athletes are flooding into Sydney, the first major influx arriving today. They came as the Olympic Village opened its gates, and it's already being billed as the best ever.
Until now, they've only dreamt of coming here.
Hey man, how's it going?
Some of the Nigerian women's football team have read about the Olympic city.
The first time.
First time to Australia.
Long flight.
But 11 degrees and drizzle wasn't the brief in all the books.
This is very cold. Look at this. Can you see?
Cold enough to make the Canberra field you're supposed to play on curl up and die.
So a lot of them died. The grass died because it's too cold.
Yeah. Among the athletes, the American marching bands, once told they weren't welcome. The Olympians came from a dozen countries.
What am I expecting? Just to do my best.
The biggest under the tightest security. America's boxing, sailing, triathlon and weightlifting teams kept behind a police line, surrounded by sniffer dogs. Onto buses to the Sydney Olympic Village and the Aussie Welcoming Committee.
I've taken my annual leave to do this and I'm really excited.
Oh, look, this is the best job in the world. I don't know why anyone would be anywhere else on a day like today. The birds singing, the sun shining, the athletes are arriving here, the games are on.
Bus after bus, they disappeared through the gates.
By the time of lights out tonight, we'll have 2,500 athletes from 84 nations in residence in the village.
They call it the heart of the Olympic Games, where the young people of the world live in harmony for a few weeks. Soon there'll be 15,000 athletes and officials here.
Certainly this is the 8th Olympic Village that I will have lived in, and undoubtedly it's going to be the best village of all time. It's quite fantastic.
So was the moment Australia's oldest living Olympian cut the ribbon to open the village.
A lot of a shock anyway. I thought I'd been forgotten for so long that it's come to light now.
93-year-old Olympic runner Edie Payne was overcome. Natalie Barr, 7 News.
Cold and wet weather has failed to dampen enthusiasm of the crowds following the Olympic flame on its triumphant procession towards Sydney. There were some particularly interested spectators as the torch passed through the Western Plains Zoo. Then it was on the road to Orange for a lunchtime stop, but after the normal pedestrian pace of the relay, the torch suddenly zoomed ahead. Motor ace Craig Lowndes had the honour of taking it around Bathurst, but he says it's probably his slowest ever lap. Back to Jim Wilson now with the rest of today's sport.
Thank you very much, Pete. And coming up, more success for the Aussies at the US Open. And we cross live to both rooms at the MCG.
For the first time, the world's deadliest crims are travelling by air.
What happened?
They got the plane.
Welcome to Con Air.
Buckle up for TV's biggest blockbuster. Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, Con Air premieres Sunday.
I'm here at Hidden Valley to tell you to forget the rest. They're just estates. This is really living. I've seen the rest and they don't come within a bull's roar of this. This is gorgeous. Sure, it may take 5 minutes longer to get here, but when the lifestyle's twice as good, who cares? And with land from just $59,000, that's right, get your jaw off the floor. I said $59,000. What's stopping you? Come out this weekend, sit where I'm sitting. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Cheers.
Uncle Toby's invites you to take part in the Olympic Games. Get a scratch card, reveal a medal and a prize. Watch the Olympic Games, and if they win, you win. Win a day with our Olympic athletes and Val Morgan or a Val Morgan Hoyt Star Movie Pass. Look in selected Uncle Toby's products.
The healthiest way to live is close to nature. Palmolive Naturals shampoo uses natural ingredients like chamomile, aloe vera, and jojoba to make your hair feel soft and natural. New Palmolive Naturals. Softer, beautiful hair naturally.
Clockwise, anti-clockwise. I can do that.
With new Asia at Home stir-fry starters and the cooking skills you already have, you can now make restaurant-quality stir-fry. New Asia at Home.
I can do that.
I'm here at Hidden Valley to tell you to forget the rest. They're just estates. This is really living. I've seen the rest and they don't come within a bull's roar of this. This is gorgeous. Sure, it may take 5 minutes longer to get here, but when the lifestyle's twice as good, who cares? And with land from just $59,000, that's right, get your jaw off the floor. I said $59,000. What's stopping you? Come out this weekend, sit where I'm sitting. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Cheers.
This sports update is brought to you by Holden.
The all-conquering Bombers have started their celebrations following today's grand final victory. Craig Hutchison is in their rooms, and Hutchie, they were simply unstoppable.
Euphoric scenes in here tonight too, Jimmy. The room's absolutely jumping, crowded with people and onlookers and well-wishers, and the players are certainly very excited. Mark Harvey, the assistant coach, has just broken from the team meeting. You've been a bit emotional today, Mark, too?
Yeah, look, just to see the reaction of John Barnes' face and Dean Wallace, I sort of broke down when I went out and seen him, and I guess it makes it all worthwhile, the coaching of, and what the players have done over the last 2 years, and they deserve to get it. The three good stories of the day, as you mentioned, Barnes and Wallace, two of your best friends in your playing days, have come a long way, and also James Hird. Yeah, look, James has been through, a pretty tough 3 years with his injury, and then of course his baby was crook last week, and he really wanted to achieve being a leader, and he's done that now. And I reckon he just broke out into all that enjoyment that and frustration that he's had over the last 3 or 4 years. And pretty important day. What does it mean to win another premiership? You played in 2 yourself, but a loss today would have been catastrophic given the last 2 years. 3, Hutchie. 3, sorry. No, you're right, mate. Oh, no, it's just this team is. I mean, they're just sensational to work with. They make your job a lot easier. And to be honest, I've never worked with a better group of players. When I was playing, you don't sort of realise that. But they're just so focused, so determined, and they've got a killer instinct. Whatever happens in the next couple of years, I'd like to keep working on these players. We'll have to leave it there. Thanks, Mark. Good luck for the future. Tiffany Cherry's in the Melbourne rooms with Jeff White.
Yes, thanks, Hutchie. Well, as strange as it may seem, there are actually a few smiles here in the Melbourne rooms. Not something you would expect from a team that's just lost the grand final. But Jeff White, the team has managed to move from 14th last year to 2nd. It's not a bad effort. Yeah, it's been a good year, but in all honesty, you've got to take opportunities, and we didn't take it today, and we're just beaten by a better side on the day. Well, the team did have a fantastic year with Woden and Sandringham, and as we said, 14th to 2nd. How hard is it to finish like this? Yeah, it is disappointing, but I guess you got to I think the old cliche, you got to lose a grand final to win one. But we wanted to take opportunity today, and we just didn't take it. But looking back, we could hold our heads high because it's been a great year. And so, what do you do tonight? Just relax. I think there's a few boys with a few sore spots, so just relax and get involved. We've got a function at the Casino tonight, so just get involved with supporters and stick by, because they've been sticking by us all year. Enjoy the off-season. Thanks a lot, Jeff, for speaking to us. Back to you, Jimmy.
Thank you very much, Tiffany. And in the under-18s TAC Grand Final, Geelong was too strong for the Eastern Rangers, and 8 goals second quarter setting up the Falcons' 22-point victory. Well, rain has postponed Mark Philippoussis' second-round clash against American Jan-Michael Gamble at the US Open. Meanwhile, Richard Fromberg and Wayne Arthurs have set up a third-round showdown. Arthurs disposing of another Aussie, Jason Stoltenberg.
On the back blocks of Court 10, Aussies Wayne Arthurs and Jason Stoltenberg went toe-to-toe. The Arthurs serve was missing early on, Stoltenberg finding his range to take the first set 6-2. But Arthurs bounced back, rediscovering his power game in the second set. Oh, well done, Steve. And that lethal serve in the third.
And there's the bullet.
The big left-hander blasting his way to a 4-set win.
Service ace right down the middle.
Jason played very well in the start, and I thought this is going to be a pretty quick day. And but changed it around in the second set and played a good tiebreaker, and sort of got on top of him after that.
Arthurs now faces another Aussie, Richard Fromberg.
Obviously, he's in unbelievable form. It's going to be tough for me. Left-hander, big serve. I don't know. I feel like I've got nothing to lose.
Mark Philippoussis only managed to complete his warm-up with Jan-Michael Gamble before a New York shower stepped in. The second-round match rained out before it started. Scares for some seeds in the women's draw, Monica Sellers battling back from a set down against Chanda Rubin. And American Megan Shaughnessy broke Wimbledon champion Venus Williams 4 times in the first set before the third seed found her feet to move into the 4th round.
And does so.
Jeff Bullock, 7 News.
There is nothing quite like Grand Final day, isn't it? It's just a great day on the Australian sports calendar. Well done to the Bombers and commiserations to the Ds.
All you can do is dip your lid to Kevin Sheedy and the Bombers. Thanks very much, Jim. Still to come, our weather and charity peddler cycling around the nation for the Children's Hospital.
Coming up, discover the animal kingdom's record breakers.
It can support 850 times its own weight.
Animal Olympians premieres next on 7.
Holden supports and celebrates our Olympians' drive to win. Drive on, Australia.
Well, I think the tennis courts and the bike tracks are fantastic for the kids.
Yeah, now the kids can have a lifestyle and we can let them go around the corner without being afraid. Oh, as soon as you come past the entrance, you get that relaxing feeling.
I don't know about that. As soon as I get home, I get told, get out there, get to work, do the lawns.
Caroline Springs. See for yourself, because it speaks for itself.
Oh, we looked at lots of other places, but you just don't get the parks and the lakes that we've got here at Caroline Springs.
Dolphin. Uncle Toby's invites you to take part in the Olympic Games with a They Win, You Win scratch card. You could win a Samsung appliance set, plus the chance to lunch with Sam Riley or a Samsung Olympic Games phone. Look in selected Uncle Toby's products.
The great 40 weeks bedroom sale.
Save up to $1,000 on bedroom suites and top brand bedding. Save on bed packages. 40 Winks Great Bedroom Sale catalogue now available in store. No deposit, interest-free terms. Sale on now.
Tonight's weather, proudly brought to you by Delphin's Caroline Springs.
Welcome back to 7 News. A young man saved by the Royal Children's Hospital as a boy has embarked on a 13,000-kilometre journey of thanks. Stuart Dyer left today to cycle around Australia to raise money for the hospital. Stuart underwent open-heart surgery when he was 9. The hospital also saved his sister and niece, who suffer from the same congenital heart condition.
Potentially I wouldn't be alive today if I didn't have the operation 20-something years ago. So it was important that I sort of show my gratitude back to them.
Well done, Stuart. Now to the weather, and a month earlier than usual, we couldn't have wished for a better grand final day. Plenty of sunshine and a top of almost 18 degrees. Showers are on the way tonight, though. Rain across most of Victoria last night, so we were very lucky in Melbourne today. Overnight, Mildura managed 20 millimetres and down at Cape Otway 15. A cold front will move across the state tonight. We can expect showers in Melbourne after 9 p.m. A second front will cross later on Monday with a little rain, leaving occasional showers into the new week. A few showers for Perth tomorrow, 17, early rain easing in Hobart, and a morning shower for Adelaide, but mainly fine. The Victorian forecast, showers becoming more extensive from the southwest overnight, contracting to southern parts tomorrow and becoming well scattered. In the high teens up along the Murray, 13 for Ballarat. On the bays, the north to northwest wind gusting at 20 to 30 knots overnight, so a strong wind warning has been posted. It'll shift westerly and ease to 15 to 20 knots by the morning. Across Melbourne, showers tonight, clearing to a mostly fine Sunday with just 1 or 2 showers about and a top of 16 degrees after an early morning low of 10. And through into our first full week of September, Monday mainly fine and 18, but late rain moving in, leaving a few showers for Tuesday and 14. Wednesday should be fine and up to 17. Thursday showers later becoming more frequent on Friday, then mainly sunny next Saturday. And that's the way it is this Saturday, the 2nd of September. Thanks for your company. Coming up, the world around us, but from the news team, congratulations to the Essendon Football Club. Good night.
To win the Premiership flag. Our boys who play this grand old game are always striving for glory and fame. See the Bombers fly up, up. The other teams they don't fear. They'll try their best, but they can't get near as the Bombers fly up.
And now here on Channel 7 are tonight's Tats 2 results, just drawn under government supervision. And I hope your dreams come true.
Wherever you are in 2000, Channel 7. Taking me higher than heaven.
This program proudly brought to you by Godfrey's, the vacuum and cleaning specialists, for the best prices on all your cleaning needs.